In honor of National Recovery Month in September, we're doing a few videos on how to prevent and respond to overdoses, and you can hear more about that in the first video we posted. Today, I'm gonna show you how to use naloxone, also known as Narcan, to respond to an overdose. World staff have received training on how to administer Narcan from Alameda County Healthcare for the Homeless. And the only requirement to attend that training is that you either work or reside in Alameda County, and it's really comprehensive. We highly recommend that, and we'll link that in our post. The brand of naloxone that we distribute here at World is Narcan. That's the one that most people are going to be familiar with. That's the biggest brand. There is another form of, another brand of naloxone nasal spray called Cloxado, which has about twice as much naloxone in it as Narcan. So best practices for using it are going to be a little different than what we're showing here today. There's both good and bad things about having twice the amount of naloxone in a dose. One good thing, of course, is that you're less likely to need to administer multiple doses. And one bad thing is that it can be a much more intense, unpleasant experience for someone coming out of an OD. If you give them that much naloxone at once, it can make them a lot sicker. So there are a few steps to using Narcan for overdose response, and I want to emphasize that using Narcan for overdose response is something that you can do to help others. So you can't use Narcan on yourself when you're overdosing. And so the first step to overdose response is also part of overdose prevention. Don't use alone. And if you have friends that use, try to make sure that they aren't using alone either. And then the second step of overdose response is how to recognize an OD. And so if the person is unresponsive to stimulation, if their breathing is very shallow, slow, erratic, or has totally stopped, you might hear a sort of like gurgling sound, and that's the lungs trying to pull in air, but they can't get there. Or signs of cyanosis or lack of oxygen, and so that might like turning blue or ashen, or for darker skinned people, the skin can turn grayish, for lighter skin it can turn blue. The body is very limp, skin is sweaty and clammy, and then fentanyl overdose can occasionally cause rigidity of the chest. And then the third step to responding to an overdose using Narcan is responding. So first, you're gonna shake this person who you think is overdosing. And then give them a sternum rub, like this. It's not gonna like harm them, but it will hurt. And so they're not gonna like it. And then if that doesn't work, yell at them, I'm gonna Narcan you. I think you're overdosing. I'm gonna give you Narcan, something like that. If they can say no to the Narcan, then they don't need it. So try that. And if that doesn't work, then administer the Narcan.